And had a bittersweet weekend, folks. My son went to prom Friday night, but I was actually on board the JM Lexus Gallant Lady doing the Mission United event. JM Lexus down here, the family is just the Moran family is an absolute incredible family. They do a lot of work for homeless veterans down here in South Florida and across the United States. So I was giving a presentation to some of the donors as we did a sunset cruise. But more importantly, I rose a glass to my buddy Scammer, whose memorial service was going on at that same time. And here's the really cool part is a mutual best friend of Scammer's and I is Scott Tingle, call sign Maker. He was on board the ISS. Our best friend right now is on board the International Space Station, and he was watching the memorial service from space. That's pretty damn cool. And then had a great weekend here in Fort Lauderdale with the Air and Sea Show and watching the FA-18 Hornet demo. That was a good time. So a lot going on, folks. This is a sleeper story. Beware of these Monday morning 180-point Dow rallies. It ain't going to hold until Friday, folks. Where's the sleeper story? What's going on with China and the trade talks, folks? Zero. As a matter of fact, from all indications, it looks like China ain't budging. They also read the art of the deal, and they're going to sit there with their hands folded. So you see these rallies up into the 50-day moving average. We went up and through. I got bearish. We went up and didn't hit it. We went up, and now it's going to be resistance, folks. Why? Look at oil, folks. We are looking at $70 oil. That ain't good. Oil prices are indicating what? A worst case scenario on Iran nuclear deal. What did I predict, folks? I absolutely think that Trump's going to decertify the Iran nuclear deal, and we are going to, you're going to see volatility spike through the roof, and the market's going to pull back. You heard that here first. And, of course, we have all this stupidity going on. Speaking of the Iran nuclear deal, apparently John Kerry is immune to the Logan Act. I mean, you can only break the law if you're a Republican, obviously not a Democrat, whether it's Rosie O'Donnell making campaign donations above the federal limit using aliases and different email accounts and addresses, or John Kerry gallivanting around the globe and conducting shadow diplomacy on behalf of the United States. That's a violation of the law, folks, and that's kind of some of the things they're investigating Manafort, General Flynn, and other folks for. But again, it's liberal hypocrisy at its finest. So this is going to get bad. It's going to get uglier. It sounds like President Trump's about ready to unleash a broadside at the Department of Justice. Again, it's a disgrace. Jeff Sessions is a disgrace. You have to be worried because I'm a law-abiding, God-fearing, Second Amendment-believing American. When we stop believing in the rule of law and that everybody's treated equally under the law, we're in trouble. And I'm warning you. So be careful of this Monday right out of the gate, rip your face off rally. And it's not even a rip your face off rally, folks. This thing's going to fade. We have a 1 o'clock weekly options brief where we're going to get long volatility again for this week. We had a nice one-day trade last week for what, like was it $2,600-$2,700 gain? Whatever it was, folks. We had a nice one-day trade on VXX, and we might take a look at Amazon. I'm not sure. So make sure, if you remember, you join me at 1 o'clock in our weekly options. How about the unemployment number last week, the jobless rate? We are below 4% for the first time since 2000, since I was on active duty in the Navy and my oldest son, who just turned 18 and went to the prom, was born. Tune in to CNN and MSNBC, and what are they talking about? Porn stars, right? And collusion. This economy is doing great, which is going to do what, folks? It puts the Fed in a little bit of a conundrum. Hey, we're actually at full employment according to the Federal Reserve. Everybody who more or less wants a job in America can get a job, unless you're lazy and you're lying on the couch with your Obama phone, and then you don't want a job. And so the Fed's going to be looking at raising interest rates, folks, pretty soon here. So as I talked about last week, these moving average balances are getting weaker and weaker. Just look at it. Bounce off to 200, through the 50, almost to the 50, hit the 50. We're going lower, folks. There ain't no catalyst to drive this market higher. Donald Trump is not going to certify the Iran deal, and we're going to implode. You heard it here, folks. First, folks, back in October, I said by the end of Q2, Elon Musk is going to be out of cash. I said Tesla is burning through cash like a drunken sailor, and I kind of know what that definition means. So Tesla admits it may need more capital, reveals a $300 million in sales that they just reported in earnings last week came from what? An accounting change. They didn't sell this stuff, folks. This thing is done. I told you weeks ago, JP Morgan and I both said what? Buy disaster crash puts on Tesla, man. Put them in your filing cabinet. The stock's worth $100, if that. It makes cars, folks. I know they're blasting off bottle rockets and stuff like that, but that ain't cheap, man. This headline I predicted in October, and here it is, May. And finally, as I predicted, by the end of Q2, that dude was going to run out of cash, and he's on vapors right now. That earnings call last week was weird. He literally was a jerk on the earnings call. And I don't care what the stock price is doing today. I look at it in the future, and this thing is a dog, and it is going down here. Let's pull up Tesla. I didn't even take a look at what it's doing today. But strategically, folks, oh, there you go. This is called a short squeeze. When your earnings suck and the report comes out that you are probably bankrupt, like you joked about right here, this is a classic short squeeze. You're going to tell me that this stock is up on the fact that the sales that they reported came from an accounting change. Would you buy a stock like that? Classic short squeeze. Tesla is one of the most shorted stocks. So when it goes up a little bit, how do you get out of that position? You have to do what? You have to buy back shares, which makes the stock go up, and then it will implode again. So we'll talk about this tomorrow in the primary live trade brief. But it is not a good looking stock. So, all right, folks, I actually got to get ready for the 1 o'clock live trade brief. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and I'll be back with Tuesday's market sit rep.